All right, boys and girls, on today's episode, you want to pay attention. Today's episode is all about the rules of artist development. Yes, the rules of artist development. This goes for content creators. It goes for business owners. Pay attention. I think you're going to love today's episode. That's coming up on the Steve Freeman Podcast.
You're listening to the Steve Freeman Podcast, the real, raw truth about the pursuit of success in music, business, and life. Here's your host, hit songwriter, multi-platinum selling producer, and serial entrepreneur, Steve Freeman.
I got to be honest with you. It feels a little strange being back in here. I had batched a ton of episodes because I was going to be traveling. I was out in LA for a while. And so I had pre-recorded a ton of episodes to give me time to make sure that I could do everything. And I swear to God, I walked back in the podcast studio this morning and it's like everything sounded different. Everything looked different. I don't know. It feels a little weird. So if I stumbled a little bit in today's episode, I apologize. I'm also starting to realize and understand now that we've been in this new studio for a little while, this is the most uncomfortable fucking chair in the entire world. This is not paid advertisement at all, but I love, there's a company called Secret Labs and they make gaming chairs. And I have like 4 of them. I've got them all throughout the recording studio. I've got even at the house. I don't know why I've not bought one to put in here because my back, anyway, none of you give a shit about the chair that I'm sitting in. But it's extremely uncomfortable. So we got to remedy that. Hey, coming up on today's episode, we are going to be talking about the rules of artist development. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give you some help, some tips, some advice, and I think you're really going to get something out of today's episode. Plus, for those of you that follow me on social media, you know we've started this new thing. You can actually leave me a voicemail. Yes, if you've got a question, a comment, and you want to leave a voicemail for me, we're going to start featuring them here on the podcast. We've got the first one today. All you have to do is go over to my website, thestevefreeman.com, and there's a little button on the side of the page that says leave a voicemail. Just click right there. You can also find out how to do it or do it from the link in my bio on Instagram. So I love answering your questions. I want you to be a part of the show. And whenever you do this, I'm actually going to feature you, the audio. So for you artists, you songwriters, you want to ask a question, that's also your golden opportunity to promote yourself. Let us know where your music can be found, or if you're a content creator, where your videos can be found, or who you are on TikTok and Instagram and all that. It's a good chance for you to ask a question. Yes. But then also be able to promote yourself a little bit, which I want to do. I want to use this platform to allow you guys to promote yourself. And I think that's a good way to do it. So we've got one of those coming up today as well. Anything that we talk about, any of the links, any of that, it always lives in the show notes section of this podcast. So no matter where you're listening, make sure that you click on the show notes to find all the links to our sponsors, to any articles that I might reference or talk about. It's all there in the show notes section. You can find that at thestevefreeman.com or inside the little description area, no matter where you're listening to the podcast. So I hope that you will take advantage of that as well. Speaking of listening to the podcast, don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe, especially on Apple Podcast, iTunes. It's very important. I can't tell you how important it is. So go over there and do that. Just like this one. Always learn something from this show. Great podcast. I always take a solid nugget or two from Steve's show. Thanks for sharing your experience and advice. That comes from JazzCon via Apple Podcast. He also rated us 5 stars. So thank you, JazzCon or JaceCon, whichever one. I'm assuming it's probably Jason something. But we've talked before about what assumptions can do. But do that for me if you don't mind. Go leave a written review and rate the podcast 5 stars. We've also started a new private Steve Freeman Podcast Facebook group. So go to Facebook. You can, again, links in the show notes. Go to facebook.com/the Steve Freeman and then look for groups. And you can ask me to join the group, and I'm approving everybody until I'm going to give you enough rope until you hang yourself, people. So come be a part of our community. Join the brand new Steve Freeman Podcast Facebook group. Would love to have you there. And then coming up in September, we've got something very special. and it's called the Music Business Mindset Mentorship Program. I'm going to be picking a very select few, like not more than 5, that I will work with one-on-one for the next 90 days. And we will take your career from wherever it is or your business, and we are going to put you so much further down the road because you're going to have access to me one-on-one to work with me to grow your brand and grow your career. It's the Music Business Mindset Mentorship Program. And actually, I was somebody the other day, I kind of leaked something and we already had one person sign up. So I'm letting the cat out of the bag, so to speak. But you don't even have to be in the music industry. What this is all about is bringing the concepts and the mindset of the music business to whatever business it is that you are. Because being in the entertainment business, selling things in the entertainment business, growing your brand and breaking through and not getting lost in the clutter of the entertainment business is one of the most difficult things you will ever do in your entire life. So if you can do that in the entertainment business, you can take these principles and apply them to whatever it is that you're doing. And I promise you, it's going to spell success for you. That's why I wanted to do this. It's going to be about 5 people because I just don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to do this as it is, but we're going to do it anyway. It's the Music Business Mindset Mentorship Program, and there'll be more information about that on my website. You can go there, thestevefreeman.com, and find out more information. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. If it's something you think you might be interested in, go check it out. And I would love to talk with you about maybe being a part of the program. But like I said, it's going to be very limited. Like 5 people at a time for 90 days, 3 full months of working with me one-on-one. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, okay, enough with all that. God dang, I got to get some coffee. Oh, that is so good. The rules of artist development. There are so many different schools of thought on artist development out there. There are a lot of different gurus on YouTube that talk about artist development. They, of course, 99% of them are bullshit, and they have no idea what they're talking about. And I know some of you watch those videos, and I know some of you follow those people, and that's fine. But oftentimes I get the question, well, Steve, I know you say you don't like this person or you don't believe what they say. Why? Why do you think they're bullshit? Because you can't point to, nor can they point to, a single artist that they've ever worked with, that they employed their strategies of what they're telling you on YouTube, and it was successful. They can't point to an artist that they've developed that you know, that I know, that anybody else outside these artists, mom and dad and grandparents and aunts and uncles know. That's how I know it's bullshit, because they've never taken an artist from A and even got them to B. What it is it's a ploy to try to get your attention. As Gary Vee says, and I love this phrase, they're day trading attention. All they care about is getting your eyeballs on their material so that they can get you on their email list, and they can do this and they can do that. Now, you're I know there are about 3,000 of you out there right now. But here's the thing, and a sidebar. I'm starting to realize and understand that there is a large or significantly large 10% of the, well, it's actually more than 10%. There are a few thousand people that listen to this podcast because they don't like me. And I think that is the coolest, most amazing thing ever. I mean, it really is. Now, I will admit, I'm a big enough boy. I will admit there are YouTube videos of people that I watch just when I want to get pissed off and I want to get fired up. And I'm honored to know that there are those of you out there that listen to this podcast or watch this podcast so that you can get angry and that what I say and the things that I say upset you. I love that. So if you think you're bothering me with all of the negative comments or the negative emails that I get, bring it the fuck on. I get off on it. Okay. So I love it. Go recruit, each one of you, go recruit another 2,000 people each to come and hate me. I absolutely love it. I have spent the last 25 years perfecting the art of turning hate and competition into fuel. So bring it on, baby. I love it. Matter of fact, you know, I always love the thing they used to do, or they maybe still do. Is it Jimmy Fallon that does mean tweets? I might start actually featuring some of the negative and mean emails that I get because I love it. I actually do. I really do love it. And we'll feature some of those. And then I'm also strangely surprised. I know I'm gotten sidetracked, guys. I'm sorry. It's the first day back. So my mind's a little wondery here and there. Bear with me. I think I'm also going to start featuring some YouTube comments, because here's the odd thing. Every month, there's about almost 400,000 of you guys that listen to the podcast in a month's time across the various, 8 episodes a month, roughly. But on YouTube, there's, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 of you people that watch on YouTube, which begs the question. It makes me wonder. This is what wakes me up in the middle of the night, is why the fuck am I so worried about all of this shit and doing the video when I could be sitting anywhere, on the beach for that matter, doing the audio version of this podcast? So y'all need to start watching. Actually, no, don't start. Yes, I want you to watch it. I guess, I don't know. I better shut up. I'm actually talking people out of engaging with the podcast here. But we will grow the YouTube side of the audience, because I'm learning there's a difference between people who like to watch video, people who like to listen to audio. So there are literally hundreds of thousands more of you listening to the audio than the video. But I get some of the most interesting and unfounded, baseless accusations and comments against me on YouTube. Those of you that are listening to the audio version, just for entertainment's sake, you don't even have to watch the videos. You ought to head over to my YouTube channel just to look at the comments that people leave on the video. Of the thousands of people, 1,500, 600 people that watch the video versions regularly, just for entertainment's sake, go read their comments. And I might start featuring them, because some of them are just, they're crazy. Anyway, back to today's topic. Sorry, guys. I know I'm rambling, and I'm sorry. And it's the coffee. I'm telling you, it's the coffee. See, I'll get a comment about that. Why didn't he edit? See, YouTube people are different people. And I love you. I love you, YouTube people, but you're fucking different. There will be, but why didn't he edit that out? He took a drink of that coffee. Why didn't he edit that out? Because I don't have fucking time to do that. That's why Steve didn't edit that out. Anyway, back to today's topic. The rules of artist development. Now, listen up, children. I'm not even going to say that. Let's look at number one. Rule number one. If they approach you, there is more in it for them than there is for you. Okay? I'm going to read that one more time. Or I'm going to try to say it. I've got notes today. When I do these, what I feel are super important, I actually prepare, folks. Newsflash. If they approach you, there is more in it for them than it is for you. I can't tell you all the number of emails that I get or messages on social media where an artist or a songwriter or somebody like that is asking me, hey, I've had such and such company approach me. They want to do an artist development deal. I had this very scenario happen with an artist that I produced an EP for just this week. And I get the position that you guys are in. I understand it. Believe me, I understand it well. You put all of this time, effort, and energy, blood, sweat, and tears into creating this product, into writing the music, and then paying to go in the studio and recording it. I get it. You're passionate. You want to move forward, and you want things to happen. And then this artist in particular was like, hey, this company contacted me. They saw all the social media posts that I'm doing about this new song that I've got coming out, this new video. And they want to work with me. They want me to do an artist development deal with me. And I said, wonderful. How much money are they putting up? And he's like, well, we've got a meeting, later this week to talk about that. And, we actually had a brief phone call. They love the song, but they want to rewrite it. And then they ultimately said, they don't think that should be my first single or my first video, but they really want to work with me. And I kept going back to the same point. How much money are they putting in? And see, that's the thing. This is the biggest thing about rule number one. You are going to get people reaching out to you When you're doing your job properly and you're doing exactly what we've talked about to put yourself in a position to realize the success, you're doing a great job on social media. You are taking the bull by the horns and writing the songs and producing them, and you're creating the content. That is attractive to a lot of different people because everybody wants to jump on a moving train, right? They don't want to shovel the coal to get it going. They see artists that are go-getters, that have a fire lit underneath their ass and that are out there motivated and trying to get things done. What a lot of these companies want to do is attach themselves to your coattails because you're out there doing all the hard work, meaning they don't have to do anything. Their prayer is that you're going to fuck around and be successful just by your hard work, and then they automatically are attached to you. That's one side of it. The other side of it is these companies will call you, and Nashville's horrible about it. I mean, horrible about it. They will contact you. They will pump you up, tell you how much they love you. They think you've got a future. They can help you with this. They can help you with that. And then they want you to pay them. If they contact you, there is more in it for them, and they stand to benefit more than you do. Unless that company goes by the name of Warner Brothers, Universal, Big Machine, Sony, Def Jam, one of the major labels. Unless it's one of them, you're either going to have to pay in the long term, or you're going to get tied down with somebody that's going to do absolutely none of the work. They're going to put up none of the money, and they're just going to ride on your coattails. So don't pay any mind or don't pay any attention to all of these different companies here in Nashville. Now, here's where this 2,000 or 3,000 of you guys are out there going, Steve, you do the same thing. You do artist development. I do, except I don't reach out to anybody. I have never in my entire career reached out to someone and said, I think I can help you. It's going to cost this, or I don't do that. They come to me. Big difference. So listen very carefully to rule number one. If they approach you, there is more in it and they stand more to gain than you do. It's just, now here again, there's some of you out there going, well, that's not always the case. That's not 100% of the time. No, it's probably not 100% of the time. There are some good people out there who can help you along the way that are looking to work with talented people. Yes, but it is 0.00001% of people in this business. That is the thing. I realized this rule a very long time ago. And that's why I decided you're never going to get a DM from me on Instagram talking about, hey, I've got an artist development program and I'd love to work with you. I've listened to because I haven't fucking listened to your music. I don't have time to listen to your music. I don't have time for anybody to get on my radar. You have to get on my radar. That's where you're going to start seeing the splitting of the hairs between legitimate and non-legitimate people in this business. This is so important because the number of times that artists have come to me third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time, by the time they've started working with somebody and wasted time, they've either wasted money or time. And in most scenarios, in most cases, they've wasted both. And really in this business, your time is more valuable than your money. So by the time they go through all of these 2 or 3, 4 companies or people, when they get to Nashville or when they get to LA, they've wasted all their time. They've wasted all their money. They've been jaded. And then they come to me very jaded. And they ultimately think that I'm trying to do to them exactly what these other people above me did to them. And that's when the value for me and what I do when I choose to do artist development, which I only work with artists that I choose to work with. I don't give a fuck about your money. I had an artist 2 months ago come to me and offer me an ungodly amount of money to help them. I said no, because I didn't like the artist. I didn't like the material. I didn't think they were talented. And I said no. So I don't do this shit for the money. That my reputation and my integrity does not have a price tag when it comes to this business. So if I don't like you and I don't like your music, I don't give a fuck how good you are or how good this person says you are. I don't care. If I don't like it, I'm not going to fucking work with you. I don't care how big your checkbook is. So that's why I don't approach people. If I get on your radar, then you're more than welcome to contact me. If I like what I hear, great. If not, see ya. Bye. Bye, Felicia. And my daughter would say that is so 2017. But guys, this is an important thing because I know all of you want to be further along down the road than where you are right now. I get it. I know it. I was there once. You know what? I'm still there. There's still things I want to accomplish. So I get it. But you've got to be careful. Don't jump on every lily pad that floats close to you because you can look at it and go, oh, I think I can make that. I can make that. Not every opportunity that's offered is the right opportunity. Be smart enough to qualify these things and stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your money. So rule number one again, if they approach you, there's more in it for them and there's more to gain for them than there is for you. Rule number two, put in the time to hone your craft and learn new skills. Here's something that I was on a coaching call with an artist the other day. And she was talking about, her normal day. She has a day job, a full-time job, and learning and becoming a better songwriter is her goal. That's what she wants to do. She wants that to replace her full-time job, her day job. And I said, okay, then what I need you to do is create a schedule. And in her case, she wants to become a professional songwriter. That's where she wants her income to come from. That's what she wants to spend the most of her time doing. And I said, okay, look, then you've got to put just as much effort and energy into setting aside the time to focus and putting into that as you do your day job. Now, it's not possible without getting any sleep at all to put the amount of hours in as you do, because that would have you working 8 hours a day here and then 8 hours a day on this. 16 doesn't leave you very much for sleep. And you've got errands to run. You got all that. So you got a life to live too, right? But you need to start setting time to developing your craft. And I told her, I said, set aside 2 or 3 hours a day minimum to where you do nothing else. Turn the TV off. If you need to go somewhere and get out of your normal environment, dedicate the same 2 to 3 hours a day into honing your craft, learning to write better songs. Spend that time writing songs. Some are going to be okay. Some are going to be horrible. Most of them are going to be bad. What I want you to do, though, is start training your brain. See, this works the same way as if you did. Let me give you a scenario. Do this. For 1 week, I want you to set your alarm for 6 a.m. on your phone, your alarm clock, whatever. Set it for 6 a.m. and let it go off and wake you up every single morning for a week, even on the weekends. Let it wake you up at 6 a.m. 7 days later, don't set your alarm. Your body will automatically wake you up at 6 a.m. It's muscle memory, it's brain, it's chemistry, the way that our bodies work that way. So the reason that I want you to set aside the same time every day, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, the more the better, 3 hours, 4 hours, to dedicating straight to whatever it is that you want to accomplish. If it's making YouTube videos, then make a video every single day. They're not all going to be great. They're not all going to suck. There's no one side or the other. The fact of the matter is, though, you're going to be training your brain that at that period, that's the mindset and that's the mode that you're going to get into. And it's funny, you won't even have to consciously realize it, but after you've done this for a week or so, your body and your mind is automatically going to go to that place, just like as the alarm clock thing. So set aside the same time. If it's 7 to 10 every night, then it's 7 to 10 every night. And then there's some, I watch my shows. Guys, if you want to be successful, you don't have time to watch Netflix. You don't have time to watch Hulu and do all this other stuff and play Candy Crush on your phone. You've got to do what you've got to do to get where you want to go, because ain't nobody going to fucking do it but you. If it is to be, it's up to me. Remember? So set aside the exact same amount of time. Focus on writing. If you want to get better at production, focus on learning Pro Tools or learning Logic or Studio One or Luna from Universal Audio. If you want to be an engineer, learn more about mic pre's, learn more about compressors, learn about de-essers, learn about how to mic a drum kit. All that. Put the time into actually executing that which it is that you want to do. Put the time in. You need to educate yourself. Now, this is courses, YouTube videos, tutorials. You need to listen, I'm going to tell you something. And this has come up recently, and it's been a lot more prevalent. You guys need to be learning skills. During this 2 or 3 hours or more, if you can, you need to be dedicating this time to learning skills. Do you guys know how to use Photoshop? Do you know how to use video editing programs like Adobe Premiere Pro, which is what I use, or Final Cut Pro, or any of the other video editing things out there? Do you know how to run Pro Tools? Do you know how to run Logic? Do you have these skills that it takes? Do you know how to live stream? Do you know what goes into creating a live stream? What kind of camera you need? What kind of lighting you need? Do you know that your lighting and your camera need to be matched together? So this light up here is at 56K white balance. The camera needs to be at 56K as well. If not, it's going to create a weird hue. These are things that you need to know. And the only way to know them is to educate yourself. And the only way to do that is to dedicate a certain amount of time, the same time, if possible, every single day to honing your craft. You have to put the time in to learn the skills. Now, I know some of you out there are probably saying, well, I'm not going to be doing videos, so I don't need to learn that. You're wrong. If you want to be in this business, you need to have an understanding and a concept of what actually this business is. Those of you out there that want to be in the music business, the music business is a visual medium. It's not about the music. It's not an auditory genre anymore. It's video. It's pictures. Because now the only way to market yourself is through social media. When you post a link to a song, nobody gives a shit. It's proven on Instagram. It's on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Facebook. All of these different platforms will tell you that visual content outperforms regular post or written words or audio by like 5,000 to 1. So if you want people to engage with the content you're creating, you need to have an understanding of Photoshop or Lightroom or Illustrator, or you need to know how to edit video, because you really need to be pairing that with your regular content to get the eyeballs and the engagement that you want. Learn skills. Even the things that you don't think that you need to know, you need to know. Let's talk about business basics for a second. How many of you are good with accounting? Because especially in the music business, it's all about numbers. The music business has nothing to do with music. And especially if you want this to be your full-time gig, if this is how you want to make money, you need to know the basics of accounting. You need to know how you get your money. There are a lot of you that need to stop fucking making music and stop making content and start focusing 3 hours a day on learning how the music business works. How does publishing work? How do publishing splits work? What's the difference between the songwriter side and the publisher side? Why are there 200% of a song when there's only 100% of anything else on the planet? Should I assign my writer's side of my publishing to somebody? How much, do you see what I'm saying? A lot of you out there are worried about creating this content and creating this engagement and moving further and further down the line. And then maybe even subconsciously in your mind, you're thinking, well, as soon as something's successful, then I'll learn the back end of it. I'll learn the driving force. I'll learn the business. When that big check comes, that's when I'll figure out what I need to do with it. And you are so wrong. If there's nothing else we've learned during this COVID thing, it's that in all reality, there is no job security with anything at any given moment. Everybody can become an independent contractor. Everybody became an entrepreneur in March of this year. And even though some of you may have experience in this certain field or at doing this, or maybe a professional in this and have experience for years, There's always been a team behind you, or you worked for a company with people that handled all this other stuff. You just took the check. You didn't know about taxes. You didn't know about, okay, do I need to form an LLC or not? Should I just be a sole proprietor? Many of you have no idea. And maybe what some of you need to do is take rule number 2 and focus on learning the business side of the entertainment business and stop trying to just be in the entertainment business. Because guys, honestly, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. There is no entertainment, there is no music without the business. Unless you just want to do this as a passion, as a hobby, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be really good at it as a passion. But if you want to make money with it, if you want to, like I've said before, if you want to take it beyond the bedroom door and you actually have expectations for what it is that you're creating, you've now entered the business side. You need to know these things. You need to be prepared. You need to have your ducks in a row, your I's dotted, your T's crossed when it comes to the business. Lay a solid foundation there. Then you'll know what to do when it comes to your content. Because if you don't, you're in for a very rude awakening, I can promise you. Rule number 3, learn the business. We talked a little bit about this. Learn the business. How much do you know about music distribution? How much do you know about the different social media platforms, algorithms? What do you know about music publishing? Do you know the difference between a music publishing company and a music administration company? Do you know the difference between a distributor and an administrator? I can tell you by the questions and comments that I get, a lot of you listening don't. And I want to put this out there. And I know that this is not popular, especially in this business, because we're I don't know if it's so much that we're told or if it's just almost a subconscious inherent belief that we should know everything, or that we should at least portray that we know everything. There are a lot of you out there that don't know this information. But instead of asking, you're afraid to let people think that you don't know. So you continue in an ignorant path. Due to looking at analytics and numbers, I know that for every one person that asks me a certain question, there are probably 300 of you out there that have the same question but aren't asking. Guys, and this is hard to do. This is not even on the rules for today, but I'm going to make it a subsection of Learn the Business. Another special rule, additional rule, if you will. Learn to be humble. There is a time to project strength and knowledge and togetherness. Like, I've got it all together. There's a time for that. There's also a time where that perception can become your reality because you've educated yourself. Don't ever hesitate to ask questions. Learn this business. If you don't, it's going to bite you in the fucking ass. There is no other way to tell that, because it is waiting. It is like a viper in the grass, and it is waiting on your cheek to get low enough that it can strike. And it will bite you. And it will swallow you whole if you give it the first opportunity to do so. The only way to protect yourself is to be educated. I cannot stand the number of people that I hear that blame their record label, that blame their publishing company. Oh, I signed a bad record deal. Well, you signed it, motherfucker. You signed it. Everything they told you they were going to do to you, they put it in writing. And you either didn't write it, you didn't want to pay a couple $100, $200, $300, $400 to go sit down with an attorney and have it looked at because I didn't have the money. I didn't have the... Look, this is on you. There is no excuse for you to ever sign a bad publishing deal. There is no excuse for you to ever sign a bad record deal or do a bad investment deal or a bad partnership deal. There is no reason for that to ever happen if you educate yourself and you do things the right way. It could never happen. It is possible for an artist to never sign a bad record deal. It is possible for a songwriter to never sign a bad publishing deal. But here's what you have to admit. You have to admit that making a wise decision is more valuable than your desire to move further down the road. And that's where the problem normally comes in, because when you get that offer, you want to take it because, oh man, I need a record deal. I need to be signed. I need to be able to put that on my fucking Instagram because that made everybody's gonna think I'm special. Or I don't want to have to tell people I don't have a publishing deal. So you rush out of your desire, and which is really weakness. You rush out and you make these bad deals. You can't blame these companies in the entertainment industry and call them predatory whenever you're the prey and you willingly walk into the corral with the tiger. You can't blame the tiger for being a tiger. You're the sheep that walked in there. So stop blaming other people because you don't have to. The information's out there. That's the reason this podcast exists. It's out there. I understand that every night taking time to read about the business, to educate yourself, to learn about publishing, the ins and outs and how it works and how record labels work, reviewing different kinds of record label contracts. What is a 360 deal? Learning all of these things is not as glamorous as writing a new song and posting about it and posting a little thing on TikTok or Instagram of you playing this new fucking hit song you wrote today. That's not as glamorous and it's not as fun, but it is 1,000 times more important. I've said before, this business is not all red carpets. It's not all premieres. It's not all new singles coming out, and on location and video shoots and photo shoots. It's not all about that. That is 3% of this business. 97% of this business is business. It's doing the shit you don't want to do so that you can do the shit you want to do effectively. Most of you have that reversed. Most of you absolutely have no idea. You're focusing 97% of your time on trying to be cool, trying to be creative, and trying to get engagement and trying to get more followers and get more likes. And you're spending 3%, if at all, on actually being prepared to take advantage of all those things if and when they come. Learn the business first. Rule number 4. Develop your story. The number of times I have sat down, either just helping or whether it's been in an artist development capacity, I always sat down with an artist and the first question I ask them is, who are you? What's your story? And immediately I start hearing about the number of followers they've got on social media, and this is the kind of the effort they're doing, and we're trying to do this, and I'm trying to work on this, and I'm like, no. Because tell me what it is about you that's interesting. Because that's where your fans are going to start. What is it about this person that I find interesting? What makes me want to engage with these people? American Idol is the perfect example of this. There are so many more talented people that never make it on that show, or even shows like The Voice or America's Got Talent. The producers of those shows specifically pick individuals that have an interesting backstory. How many times have you seen it? They're sick. Their mom's sick. Their dad's sick. They've lived in their car. They're homeless. Look at the stories, because that's what people buy into. People could give two shits about another guy or girl or band up on a stage singing. Nobody cares. We want the story. That's why, as ridiculous as we all believe they are, but things like TMZ, the National Enquirer, that's why those millions of people watch and millions of people buy those stupid ass magazines, even though everybody knows that it's all fake. They watch it because they want the story. They want the inside scoop. They want to know beyond the music, behind the music. So the producers of those reality shows and competition shows, they are out there looking for people who have a strange or interesting or depressing or sad backstory so that the public gets interested in them on the show. Because it has nothing to do with their ability to sing. It has everything to do with people rooting for them because of their story. That coffee is so good. Does this make sense to you? Are you understanding? Well, are you picking up what I'm laying down? Are you smelling what I'm smoking, folks? Develop your story. Don't tell me about your singing. Don't tell me about your ability to play the instrument. Tell me your story. And if your story isn't interesting, then you need to sit down and figure out, maybe I'm looking back and highlighting things in my past that I thought were interesting, but maybe they aren't. If you don't have a story, you're not going to have a career. Maybe some of you need to start working on your story right now. Maybe your backstory isn't that interesting. And I see this a lot of times too, where these privileged kids, they're just born with the silver spoon up their ass. They've been told their entire life they can sing or they can play or, they can act, they can do all this. So they just have the financial wherewithal to just do whatever it is that they want to do. And then they get in the real business and then people are like, you're not great. And they collapse. Well, that's not an interesting backstory. Maybe some of you need to start working on your story right now and go, what can I do to make me more interesting? That has nothing to do with my music, that has nothing to do with my talent. Me, you. What is it about you that people will find interesting beyond your music or beyond your talent? You've got to discover that. Develop your story. Number 5, the rules of artist development. Content, content, content. We've talked about this in the past. We are a content-driven society. If you're not creating content of some sort, you're out of the bag. You're gone. You're done. And as much as it pains me to say, if you're not already in this process, it may be too late. It's all about content. Most of you, a lot of you maybe, you guys sit around and think about what content to create more than you're creating content. You're thinking too much. Just create. You've got to create content. Embrace the social medias, the different platforms. Learn about their algorithms, know how they work, know what times of day you should be posting. They give you all of this information, but I bet you anybody, well, maybe not all, because I know some of you are very, you're doing a very good job, but let's say 50%. I'll be very liberal here and say 50%. 50% of you guys, if I were to ask right now what your analytics look like on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or Snapchat, what days that their analytics are telling you in times that you should be posting to expect the most engagement, you would not be able to tell me. And that blows my mind. That absolutely floors me. That you want the engagement, you expect the engagement, you spend the time creating the content, but you don't even know the information that they freely make available to you. These are the things you got to know. We're in a content game. If you are live streaming on Facebook, why aren't you simulcasting to YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and everywhere else? You should be. Why are you just limiting yourself over here? Create more content. If you're posting 3 times a day on Instagram, post 20 times a day on Instagram. Oh, but Steve, I don't know what to post. Maybe if you were taking that 2 or 3 hours a night and focusing on your career and what it is that you want to do, you would be batching content and you would be creating content for future use, using that time wisely. Then you were using some of that time to educate yourself to know that when I create this content, when should I post it? You should have educated yourself to know that there are programs out there like Hootsuite and Later and others that actually allow you to take your content and schedule it for the upcoming week. So that you're not in a position where I've got to post. I don't know what to post. What do I post? I can't think of anything to post right now, but I need to post something because I haven't posted in 12 hours and I got to post something, but I have no idea what to post. And so then you don't. That's 90% of you guys listening right now and watching. Do you see how what I'm talking about in these rules, how they all play together? If you are literally putting in the time and setting aside time dedicated to your career every single day, preferably, at the exact same time every day, you're going to start educating yourself. You're going to start creating content. You're going to start getting ahead of yourself so that you can take advantage. If you don't do these things, don't come to me and ask me why you're not successful. There are some of you that are doing some of these. There are some of you that are doing 2 or 3 of these things, but you got to be doing all of them. Every single one of them. This is a content-driven game. A lot of you think, I don't have the personality that so-and-so has. I don't like the camera being on me. I hear that one a lot, and I'll never get it. You want to be on stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people. You want to be on TV. You want to be in movies, but you don't like being up in front of people. I feel awkward when I turn the camera on me. Maybe you need to spend 3 hours a day getting over that shit first. There's no room in the entertainment business for type B, C, D, E, and F personalities. There's just not. Get familiar with the different content platforms, the different social media platforms, know how to use them properly. And you can start doing this inside that time frame, okay? This is so important, guys. So important. Let's run back over them again. The rules of artist development. If they approach you, there's more in it for them than there is for you. Don't fall for any of these bullshit companies or people that approach you and tell you that they can help you. Don't fall for it. There's more in it for them than there is for you. Put in the time every single day to hone your craft and learn new skills. Set aside a minimum of 2. I would prefer you do 3 hours a day. And I understand that can be difficult. I know a lot of you have day jobs. I know a lot of you have responsibilities. You have families. You have wives and kids and husbands. I get it. But if you really want to be successful at this, you got to make the time. There's no way around it. You can't. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's perfect timing. You cannot expect a full-time result with a part-time effort. So this can't be a side thing, a side hustle. God, I hate that fucking term. This can't be a side hustle. You've got to put just as much, if not more, into this than you are everything else. Because you'll just get lost in the shuffle if you do. Hone your craft, writing, basic production, social media creation, take courses, watch YouTube videos, tutorials, learn Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, learn Illustrator, learn Pro Tools, learn Logic, learn Luna, learn different audio equipment, learn about mic pre's and compressors. Educate yourself. Take that 3 hours a day and put everything you can into just dedicating that time to educating yourself, learning more, and creating content. Put yourself on a strict schedule. Learn the business. A lot of you still out there, you're trying to be in the business and you don't know the business. Learn the business. Develop your story. What is it about you that makes you interesting? Why would somebody want to follow you? Why would somebody want to like your content? Why would somebody want to get to know you? Answer those questions. When you can answer those questions effectively and honestly, then you know exactly the kind of content you need to make. Rule number 5, content. Start creating. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's not going to matter. It's not all going to be good. It's not all going to be bad either. Start creating content. Even if you want to be a songwriter, how many times have we talked in the past? You've got to be the vehicle for your songs. Songwriting as a profession for writing for other people, it's dead. It's gone. Unless you're best friends with a major label artist, then you might be successful at it. But that is 0% of you listening. So educate yourself. Follow these rules. All right, we've got the new feature where you guys can leave me a voicemail. Go to thestevefreeman.com. You can find it right there on the page. You can ask a question. You can leave a comment. You can promote yourself. And I'm going to start featuring them here on the podcast. So we've got one of them, and we're going to start that feature. Let's take a listen to this voicemail from Johnny Opus.
What's up, Steve Freeman Podcast? This is Johnny Opus. I've been paying attention to you for a few months now and getting a ton of value from your content and your Artist Development Academy. Since watching your YouTube course, I've been focusing on my YouTube channel, putting out a music video every week and uploading the audio for distribution.
Good.
and using the cover art for merch, which I then advertise in my newsletter, and actually starting to get a few sales each week.
Yes.
Each other week. So here's my question. Money's really tight right now because of the lockdown, and I'm not sure where to start running ads, but I have 3 ideas I'm thinking of. I'm just not sure if I should focus on one, spread the money out across a variety of them, or if there's something better I can do. So my first idea is to run a YouTube ad promoting my YouTube channel to get more subscribers. The second is to run ads on Instagram to get more Spotify plays, exposure, and hopefully follows. And the third is to run Facebook ads to acquire newsletter signups, which I can then promote all my new content and merch. And I feel my strength is my guitar playing. So the music I'm distributing is pretty much just voice and guitar. But I have electronically produced a few of my own songs, which people seem to like, so I can give those out as free downloads in exchange for newsletter signups, rather than just music people can already go listen to on their own. So that's about it. Thanks for listening. And again, if you want to check out my content, I call myself Johnny Opus. You can find me and all my content at johnnyopus.com. And I'm also on pretty much any social media platform as Johnny Opus. So thanks for listening. Bye for now.
All right. Johnny, very detailed voicemail. If you would like to do that and leave me a voicemail, have it featured here on the show, go to thestevefreeman.com or click the link in my bio on Instagram, and it'll take you right there, and you can leave a voicemail. Great questions. First of all, Johnny, congratulations. There is nothing that makes me happier than when I hear from you guys that are taking what you're learning either through the podcast or the Artist Development Academy or some of the free content that I put out on YouTube, and you actually are employed. You heard him say it was working. Now, I've never met Johnny. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he looks like. I have no idea. But you heard him say that he's employing these strategies and he is starting to see them work. That's the most valuable, important, and that really gets me excited. So, Johnny, first of all, you're doing the right thing by starting to implement strategies that are working. I love now that you are in kind of the second phase of this and going, okay, now I'm starting to realize and understand what works. I'm starting to see what my fan base engages with, and I'm starting to see the numbers. So now what do I do to build those numbers? I'm going to tell you right now, for where you're at right now, I don't think running YouTube ads is the answer. I don't think, not yet. I don't think you're quite there yet. Plus, the return on investment with things like Facebook ads and Instagram story ads, it's far cheaper, and you get far more return on investment from those than you do through YouTube ads and Google ads. So I'm going to say no on the YouTube ads right now. I'm also going to say no to using Facebook and Instagram story ads to promote your playlist on Spotify, promoting the music for monthly listeners and streams and things like that on Spotify. Because what it sounds like to me is working is that there are people starting to respond to your content, whether you are doing, just the guitar vocal, as you put it, or even starting to get into some of the more electronic stuff that you say people are reacting to. I say you need to create more content and create the kind of content that people are already telling you that they like and that they enjoy. Whatever is bringing people in, that's where you want to focus. So my advice to you would be do this. And everybody else out there that's listening, I've said it before, and I've put this in every course I've ever done, and I will continue to preach this. I understand that we're in 2020 and about to go into 2021. And who would have thunk it? But your email list is the most important and valuable asset you will ever have. If you don't have one, start one. Johnny said he's starting to see people sign up. And one of his questions was, do I need to promote ads that do that? Because in exchange, he's giving away free downloads for his music in order for people to sign up. That is where you want to focus. So Johnny, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put together a squeeze page. You can do this through MailChimp, Aweber, whoever your email list is through. Set yourself up a squeeze page that does what we were talking about in this episode today of developing your story. Set up a squeeze page that tells people exactly who you are, what music you make, and why people like you, okay? Put your email sign up in there. Then, and let people know, I'm giving away 2 free downloads, 1 free download, 3 free downloads. Create some sort of a club. I've got my inner circle, right? That's my email list. Those are my people. And I communicate with them and I talk with them. And we have conversations and engagement way beyond the podcast, way beyond the YouTube channel, way beyond Instagram. And they're my people. Come up with some sort of a name for your group. And don't just call it an email list, right? And don't call it a fan club. I hate a fucking fan club. A fan club has always like assumed that you're placing yourself up here and everybody else is down here. You are at the same level. And in order to be able to connect and engage with people, a lot of artists and creatives need to understand that. You're trying so hard to get up here so that there are people down here looking up at you. No, put yourself right here. Create a community, the Opus community, whatever it is that you want to call it. If I had 30 seconds and I could have dead air here, I could probably come up with something pretty creative. And if I do and I think of it, I'll follow you on Instagram and I'll send you a DM and I'll tell you. Then I want you to take the budget that you do have and I want you to create Facebook ads and Instagram story ads that tell people about the 3 free songs or the 2 free songs and sending them to that landing page. Invite them to enter their email address in order to get the free downloads and join your community. Now, once you've done that, you need to start creating more value for the people on that mailing list. What value are you providing them, or are you going to give them beyond giving them this 1 song, 2 songs, or 3 songs as far as value to keep them there and keep them from unsubscribing to your newsletter or from your community? So put some thought into that. What kind of ongoing value on a daily or weekly basis am I going to give the people that come into my community? Okay, but right now, take all of your budget and focus it into 3 or 4. Don't make one, guys. Listen to me. Don't make one ad. When I run ads, I'm running 6, 7, 8, 9 ads at a time. Different that have a different meaning or a different call to action. Or sometimes it's the same call to action, but it's a different ad because I want to know what people respond to. When I know what people respond to, then I go in heavy on that. So, Johnny, get together 3, 4, 5 different ads. Run them against different audiences. An Instagram lookalike audience would probably be a good place for you to start. You can also take the email addresses from the people that are signing up for your newsletter. You can create a lookalike audience within Facebook from those email addresses, and it will go out and place your ads in front of people that share a lot of the same similarities, actions, and buying patterns and traffic patterns that the people that are already on your mailing list do. That's where I want you to put your budget. I want you to basically, what I'm telling you is take your budget, put it into Facebook ads, Instagram story ads, into developing your story and bringing people in to see who you are, what you're all about, and then giving them that golden nugget for if they join your community and enter their email address, become a member of your newsletter and your community, they're going to get these songs, and plus they're going to get this other additional value for just being a member of your community. Johnny, thank you so much for your voicemail. If you would like to leave a voicemail, go to thestevefreeman.com. You can do it there. You can also click the link in my bio, and there's a button there that will take you, and you can leave a voicemail. And yes, motherfuckers, it's 100% free. Nobody's making any money. It's 100% free. Now, I have to pay for the service, but it's free for you. So take advantage of it just like Johnny did. Leave a voicemail. And I will feature it right here on the show. Guys, don't forget, anything we've talked about today is always in the show notes section of the website. Okay, go to thestevefreeman.com, click on show notes. You can find everything that we've talked about. And I would love to have you as a member of the new Steve Freeman Podcast Facebook group. Go to facebook.com/the Steve Freeman, and then join the group. There's also a link in the show notes to join the group right away. Also, be on the lookout for information about the Music Business Mindset Mentoring Program. I'm going to be taking 5 people and working with them on a day-to-day basis to help take their career from where they are now to where they want to be. It'll be one-on-one working with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. More information, more details about that are coming soon as well. Got some great upcoming shows, some great interviews that are happening that are going to be featured in some upcoming episodes that I'm really looking forward to. I love every single one of you guys. I do. Even those of you that send me the fucking hate mail and that make the negative comments, I love you. I do. Because you're still fucking listening and you're still fucking watching. So I love you guys. Don't forget, be sure to check out our sponsors, Performance Inspired Nutrition, pi-nutrition.com. Enter 10% to get, or enter code Steve to get 10% off of your order. And then also a lot of the steps that we talked about, you can find in various courses that are available at the artistdevelopmentacademy.com. That's artistdevelopmentacademy.com. Enter code Steve at checkout there and get 30% off of your membership, which like right now, it's so fucking cheap. It is. We really should have priced this thing at like $1,500 a year, but we didn't. It's so cheap. Like I think you can get the entire year right now for $75 or something like that. So go do it. You get all brand new online course every month, plus access to all the courses that are already there. Members only live stream events, which we had one the other day, was really freaking cool. Got to meet a lot of new members at the Academy and answer some great questions and get those people headed in the right direction. So we'd love to have you as a member as well. Go to artistdevelopmentacademy.com and check that out. Enter code Steve at checkout, get 30% off your all access membership. Guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget, keep being creative, keep pressing the boundaries, and there's nothing wrong with being independent. See you in the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for the Steve Freeman Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow Steve on social media at the Steve Freeman.